Hi, I'm Connor Old, and this is Old's Oscar Countdown. And today, we're going to be looking at the Best Picture category. If you don't know already, or you're new to my channel, this is going to be a weekly series that I do from October when I'm filming this all the way until February. Each week, looking at a different category or revisiting categories like the most popular ones, Best Picture or whatnot, if my opinions have changed on them over the course of the Oscar season, Oscar race, and what movies are really standing out. Because it's early in the race, there's not too many movies that I've actually seen and can talk about, but there's still predictions I have, and I hope to do this all the way. So I decided to go first, go big, and get the Best Picture category. So what I'm going to do is read a list off my first generation iPad here of the things I think are going to get nominated, and there's some possible ones. And after that, I'll go into each one in depth, talking about whether it's a lock or not a lock. So the first one, Manchester by the Sea. Second, La La Land. Third, Moonlight. Fourth, Loving. 5. A Monster Calls. 6. Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. 7. Silence. 8. Sully. 9. Arrival. 10. Jungle Book. Possibles: Fences, Hacksaw Ridge, Lion, Birth of a Nation, and Live by Night. So those are a lot of movies, but I'm going to go in depth on why I think it's going to win, or it's a possibility, or it's just going to get a nomination. So the first one is Manchester by the Sea. Now this is a powerhouse for the Oscars. You'll be hearing about this one. It's stood the test of time because it was found out in Sundance, and it's still in Oscar consideration and still number one, mostly because it's such a great movie. It shows the tragedies of life through the Casey Affleck character, who is so just mesmerizing as the role. He's definitely, I think, going to win for Best Actor. Lucas Hedges can have a chance for Best Supporting Actor. Michelle Williams for Best Supporting Actress. It's just really great all across the board. Kenneth Lonergan, I think, is going to get writing and directing. It's just a really good movie. It's got comedy, it's got drama, and I think it's definitely going to be a critical pleaser. And I think people who watch it are going to be like, oh wow, it's a really solid movie. At number 2, we have La La Land. Now this is amazing, a movie. I saw it at TIFF along with Manchester by the Sea. So these are the first few movies I can actually talk about myself because I've seen them. This is my number 2 favorite movie of the year. It is magical, it is amazing, and Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone's relationship and chemistry is off the charts. You see that with Ryan Gosling, a common theme, as we saw in Nice Guys earlier this year, or The Notebook. Ryan Gosling is the common denominator in terms of his chemistry, and this chemistry with Emma Stone in this movie is really just fantastic. And there's not even that many supporting characters because it's just these two people. It's funny, it's romantic, the music's great. Damien Chazelle does a great job directing it, and mark my words, this is my prediction that La La Land will win Best Picture. I felt in my gut for Birdman, I felt in my gut for Spotlight, I felt in my gut for La La Land. So it's definitely, I think it has a really good shot. And I think it's going to be not only a critical pleaser because it's already got a lot of good reviews, but also a commercial success. I think it's going to do really well at the box office. Number 3, the last movie I saw at TIFF, which is Moonlight. Now this is a poetic movie, a lyrical movie in a sense. It follows a boy and then a teenager and then a man. So a boy in 3 stages of his life, and his struggle with masculinity and his struggle with peer pressure, and it's just really an amazing movie. I don't know how to explain it. It's similar to Jim Jarmusch's Patterson, which is nonetheless a great movie nonetheless. And I definitely think this is going to be the number one combat actually due to the Oscar So White controversy from last year. It's a great movie, it deserves it, and I think that this year we're going to definitely see some more diverse nominations for sure. And Moonlight for Best Picture is going to be one. Next one, another thing tackling that issue is Loving. Now this is by director Jeff Nichols. He did Midnight Special, which I liked, Mud, which I loved. I really loved Mud. And I think he's finally going to get rewarded here because he's been around the circle doing a lot of good things. He also did Take Shelter. These good indie movies. And I finally think this one is going to break out and do well. Once again, this follows an interracial couple dealing with marriage, and they can't get married because of segregation at the time. And what I love about Jeff Nichols and why I think Oscars are going to reward him this year is that he takes these big concepts and just puts them into these small little intimate stories. And I've heard great things from people who have seen Loving, and I think it's definitely going to be an Oscar contender. I'm not sure how well I'll do at the box office because his other movies haven't done as well, but I definitely think this one is a contender for sure. Almost a lock. Now here's where we go into the little less for sure ones, we'll say. But still ones that I think are going to do good. A Monster Calls. This is Jay Bayona's most recent film. He did The Impossible, which I really enjoyed, and it's a very heartwarming film from what I've heard. I haven't seen it, but it's very magical, Pan's Labyrinth-esque, and I think it's going to be the Little Miss Sunshine of 2017. I also think it's going to do well at the box office, surprisingly enough. I think it's going to appeal, even like almost as a kid's movie in a sense. Next one is Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, and this is from director Ang Lee, who just did the most recently acclaimed Life of Pi, and he won the Best Director for his work on Life of Pi at the Oscars. So that's why this is on the list. That's really the number one reason, because Ang Lee is such a great director. It's getting a lot of buzz out of New York, and I think it's going to be a good movie. And I think the Oscars are going to reward it, even if it's not an amazing movie, because of he's coming out of Life of Pi, so I think they're expecting him to this big thing, and I think we're gonna see some acting nominations from that movie as well. Now the next movie is Martin Scorsese's Silence, and there you go. It's not Silence by Martin Scorsese. It's Martin Scorsese's Silence. You don't even have to put the word silence in there. You put Martin Scorsese, and the people almost always will recognize it. He's on a great role. Wolf of Wall Street got nominated a bunch. Hugo before that, and then The Departed even before that, when he won finally his best director and won Best Picture. But I just think because of Scorsese, it's going to come out at the end of December. We'll see that at early January, so you'll be able to see it in January in theaters. But December, I think, is it just comes in at that Oscar cutoff point. So I think that this could be a good movie because it's Scorsese. He still's got his touch, and this is a passion project for Scorsese, which not a lot of people know. So I think he's really putting his whole effort into it. I think this could be really an amazing movie, and some Oscar nominations from guys like Liam Neeson and Andrew Garfield, who we'll also be talking about later. The next one is Sully. Now, I saw this one in the theaters, and I enjoyed it a lot. It is tense, it is thrilling, it's gripping. This movie was a great theater experience because you felt the tension in the room. It was seething off people, which is why I enjoyed it, and I think it will do well. But for the Oscars, I also think it will get nominated because of Clint Eastwood. His last movie, American Sniper, which I didn't love the movie that much because I read the book and it rubbed me the wrong way. But that doesn't matter because Clint Eastwood, he's old. They love old people. So I think Sully and then Tom Hanks, similar to Bridge of Spies last year, which I like the movie. It's a good movie, but it's sort of a 9 and 10 for me. I think Sully's going to be a 9 and 10 and could maybe be switched out with one of the possible ones. And then next one is something I really hope that's good. I haven't seen it yet, but I can't wait to see it. It's Arrival by Denis Villeneuve, one of my favorite directors of the past few years. He did Enemy, he did Prisoners, he did Sicario, all movies that are very different from each other. And apparently Arrival, again, follows that trend and is different. I've heard things that it's a mix of Kubrick and Spielberg and even Terrence Malick a bit. It's very interesting to me and captivating. These are great filmmakers I just mentioned. So, and Denis Villeneuve, I think, has just done a great job with those past three. Sicario did get some Oscar nominations specifically for, I believe, maybe sound editing. I know for sure for score. So I think this is going to be his breakout movie, and people like Amy Adams will get that nomination later, coming in the next week's video, with lead actress, which I can't wait. That's going to be a great episode. And the final one, I think, is Jungle Book. Now, this is a bit of a risk for me because there's some other ones that are a little more like Oscar sort of snub nose, you know what I mean, like that sort of stuff. But this one, I think, will be the fan pleaser of the year, like we saw with Mad Max and The Martian, and even The Revenant. These movies that have like these big box offices that they're almost like last year was like, oh yeah, those kids like the Mad Max, give it the nom. And this one's like, oh yeah, my daughter saw that Jungle Book, yeah, give it the nom. It's that big fan favorite, and I think actually Jon Favreau has a good chance at getting Best Director nomination because the movie is directed great. I didn't love it so much. I know that's a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but regardless, I still think that this can get nominated for sure. Not for sure, but get nominated. It's in the playing for sure. Now, possible ones: Fences. This is Denzel Washington's first directorial debut. I think it's based on a play. It stars Denzel Washington and Viola Davis, who I both think are going to get Oscar nominations. But that's the problem. The one silver lining I have with this movie is that it's essentially an acting showcase, but I'm not sure about the entire movie. Plus, this is Denzel Washington's first directing debut. As far as I know, I might be wrong, but I'm not sure about the movie as a whole. Hacksaw Ridge is the next one, which is Mel Gibson's film. Now, they enjoyed him with stuff like Braveheart before, but there has been stigma around him over the years with things like racism and just like a bad stigma on him in terms of the media. So I'm not sure if that might affect the movie more than it like helps it. Similar to Birth of a Nation, which we'll talk about in just a sec. But essentially, I've heard a lot of great things coming out of Venice. Andrew Garfield's great. I saw the trailers, and it just looks like a really solid movie. The next movie is Line, which a friend told me at TIFF was amazing, a real tearjerker if you're looking for that. Stars Dev Patel and Nicole Kidman about a young boy trying to find his whole family on Google Maps. Very interesting idea. The only reason I did put it in my top is that I think it's a little bit too indie, maybe a little bit too niche for some of the Oscar voters. I think Dev Patel, maybe Nicole Kidman could possibly land a nomination. Not entirely sure right now, but Lion is definitely a contender for sure. And I believe that's Weinstein's, and even Weinstein says he expects to get 10 nominations, which is huge. I don't really get that vibe off it, but maybe he does. You know, Weinstein, Shakespeare in Love, they're Weinstein brothers. They're gonna push for that for sure. And if they want Lion to win, they can almost get Lion to win. It's pretty crazy, you know, the Oscars. Next one is Birth of a Nation. Now, this is a very controversial one, as many people know. If you didn't know, at Sundance, before the movie even played, there was a standing ovation. Like, what? A standing ovation? It's so fascinating to me because the movie even played. But this was because during the Sundance, it was Oscar so white controversy. So this was a very important film about a black slave revolt. But unfortunately, from what I've heard, is that the movie isn't that great of a movie. It's been the Oscar frontrunner since Sundance, along with Manchester by the Sea, just like as the leader, and it's sort of been losing steam. I think that's why where places like Moonlight and Loving come in to sort of reap what the Birth of a Nation sort of lost out on, and it didn't do well domestically. Well, it did pretty well domestically, but not enough to make its money back. It's not an international movie either, so that's another flaw. And then of course the rape allegations against Nate Parker is an issue, but I think Oscars are able to separate art from artists. But it's Oscars are politics after all, so you know who knows if they're able to do that. It'll be interesting. I don't think it's going to get the nomination just because of that, actually, though. And the final one is Live by Night. This is Ben Affleck's new directorial debut. You know, he got snubbed with Argo, but still won Best Picture, which is a weird scenario with that one. But I think definitely if this is a good movie, he's on a tear with Gone Baby Gone, and then The Town, and then Argo. I think if this one's a good one, which I saw the trailers, it looks good. It's coming out at the end of the year, and I think if he really nails it, he could, you know, definitely hit home. And that's definitely one on the sort of the edge of me that can get that Best Picture nomination. But it could change maybe the next time in a month or two probably, where I refresh my list on Best Picture. So guys, that was my Best Picture category predictions. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like the video, all that jazz. Next week's episode is going to be Best Female Actress, Lead Actress, and I think it's going to be a great one. Last year was Brie Larson, and that was pretty obvious, but this one, I have no idea what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a great video for you to watch. Maybe a little longer than this one. We'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of categories in this one. Next week, maybe I'll go more in depth. Let me know what I missed on the list. What do you think is going to be on the list? Comment down below. Tell me what I need to do better. This is my first video after all. So really, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this no-cut edit sort of thing. I want it more to feel like a podcast, more conversational in a sense, which is something I don't really see on YouTube. And anyways, if you guys want to see more Oscars, you can follow me on Twitter @ConnorRold. Until next time, stay tuned.